am back and my books did get here. A lot of crazy crap happened earlier this afternoon. One of which, the things was my dog, sorry, I just got done turning off the camera and restarting because of something my dog did. Anyway, my cat got out, so I had to mess with him. But I have 8 books that I recently got here to show you guys, and I'm just going to go ahead and dive in. The first is the silver jacket edition that you can only get from Barnes & Noble of The Fault in Our Stars by John Green, which I have already read. I read it in January of 2013 when I watched a whole bunch of YouTube videos about it. And since I'm getting away from my Nook and leaning more toward getting back into just having tangible books to read because my Nook software is really crappy and I heard they weren't going to be updating the software, I wanted a tangible copy of this book for myself. I will be going to see the movie on Friday with my best friend and my husband. I haven't seen it yet, so I'm really excited. My best friend just finished the book like yesterday and she's all excited and we're all ready to go see the movie now. As a matter of fact, I just did the best friends tag with her like 2 days ago, so if you haven't seen that, go check it out. And that is book number 1. Book number 2 is Crooked House by Agatha Christie, which is supposedly one of her personal favorites that she ever wrote. I'm going to read from the back. It says, the Leonides are one big happy family living in a sprawling, ramshackle mansion. That is until the head of the household, Aristide, is murdered with a fatal barbiturate injection. Suspicion naturally falls on the old man's young widow, 50 years his junior. But the murderer has reckoned without tenacity of Charles Hayward's fiancée of the late millionaire's granddaughter. So, I'll be reading that, and this will be the 3rd book that I've ever read by Agatha Christie, so if you know anything about it, again, post something in the comments. Book number 3 is another book that I got because of hearsay on the BookTube channel, and it is Love and Other Foreign Words by Erin McCahan. And I don't really know too much about this book except for that the back says, can anyone truly be herself or truly in love in a language that's not her own? And I think that's really interesting. I got the idea to read this book from Beth June 326. No. 327, my bad. I'm sorry, I totally jacked that up. And so I will link her in the down bar. The next one is Truman Capote's In Cold Blood, which is based on a actual crime that happened in Kansas on November 15th, 1959 in the small town of Holcomb. 4 members of the Clutter family were savagely murdered by blasts from a shotgun held a few inches from their faces. There was no apparent motive for the crime, and there was almost no clues. As Truman Capote reconstructs the murder and investigation that led to the capture, trial, and execution of the killers, he generates both mesmerizing suspense and astonishing empathy. In Cold Blood is a work that transcends its moment, yielding poignant insights into the nature of American violence. I love crime and mystery and all that kind of stuff, and I'm one of those people, sorry I keep wiggle-waggling in my chair, I guess it's an addiction I have. I'm one of those people that could watch the ID channel or Snapped or whatever for hours on end and just love it. And so there's that. The next 3, sorry I did go away, but I'm coming back. The next 3 are part of a trilogy, but the 3rd one is not the final book in the trilogy. It is, well, I'll just go ahead and tell you. It's the Shatter Me trilogy by Tahereh Mafi, which this is the 1st book, which I think is absolutely gorgeous. And I think it's really interesting that she has these, you know, like, crossed out descriptions of herself with new ones, you know? Even the front says, my touch is lethal, and then it's crossed out and says, my touch is powerful. I will be reading this next because I've been looking for it forever and I couldn't find it, so that's what I ordered today, were these 3 books. Second one is Unravel Me, again, in the Shatter Me trilogy. It's book 2. The one thing that I don't understand is why these covers are so different. It kind of bothers me, but, you know, there's got to be a reason for it, right? I mean, this is a gorgeous cover, but then you have this one and it's so just, like, damn. Like, check that out. Like, what is that? Is that snow on her eyelashes? I know you guys can hear my dog. I'm sorry. They're up right now because they were bad a minute ago and they don't like being up. Anyway, and the third one is Unite Me, which I think is interesting because this is basically a compilation of the two little novellas that go between book 1 and book 3. It's a compilation of Destroy Me and Fracture Me. So since I'm done with Nook, like, completely, I'm glad that they released this in tangible book form because I didn't want to have to, you know, have a reason to go back on my Nook. Anyway, there is one final book. No, I don't have Ignite Me yet because I want to read these 3 first because then I should be completely ready for Ignite Me. Oh my gosh, this is like... How does this go? Okay, it goes this way. I guess I'll just stick them. Anyway, I want to read these 3 first, and then I will buy Ignite Me, and hopefully it's still around in hardback. If it's not, I'll go online and order it. The last book is really, really interesting to me because my favorite band is the Beatles. Well, actually, they're just one of my favorite bands. And this one is called A Hard Day's Right by Steve Turner. It's the stories behind every single song the Beatles ever wrote. The back says, what was the inspiration for Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds? Was there really an Eleanor Rigby? Where is Penny Lane? Who was just 17 and made Paul's heart go boom? In comprehensive and entertaining style, Steve Turner examines the Beatles' recordings from 1962 to 1970 and provides insight into their inspiration, arranged in chronological order by album and with numerous photographs. These are the stories behind the songs. There's even a Bono quote on the back of here. It says, I'm a huge fan of the Beatles. A Hard Day's Right. It's an inspiring and humbling book. I got this in the bargain books of Barnes & Noble for like $9.99, and I wasn't going to buy it, but I'm just beyond excited about it. This isn't something that I'm gonna like do a review over or anything. It's just something that I got for my own personal pleasure, because in case I'm like listening to a Beatles song one day, I'm gonna be like, I wonder what the story behind that was. I can basically just go look it up. I mean, it goes by year and by song chronologically. Anyway, that is my book haul for today, and I hope you guys enjoy, and please comment, rate, subscribe, and ignore my poor little dogs that I'll have to introduce you to one day. As a matter of fact, I'll show them to you, that way you don't think that I abuse them. They're just sitting in their crates. Poor puppies. Here, let me show them to you. There's the babies. They're so pretty, aren't they? Okay, bye!